What's up, everybody? This is a unplanned, unprompted, quick live stream because there has been some breaking news that we've got to talk about. We have a wide receiver that just got placed on IR and is going to be out a minimum of 4 games. Then another wide receiver just got ruled out for the game against the Raiders after being a full participant at practice all week. And then the Chiefs made a couple of practice squad call-ups for tomorrow's game against the Raiders. So I'm going to do a quick hitter video and talk through all of this. And maybe answer a couple of questions, then get off and hang out with my family for the rest of the day. So let's talk about it. But first, all right, what's up, guys? Unplanned, not normal live stream here for some breaking news here. That was not supposed to look like that. Basically, here's what's going on in a quick nutshell. We have a few things that have happened. First off, we'll just follow this Arrowhead Pride article. I didn't have time. I'm hanging out with the family today to like prep a full video and do a bunch of stuff today. But the first thing that happened is DeRuse Toney got ruled out for tomorrow afternoon's game with a ankle/hip injury, and it's kind of weird to me because he was a full participant all week at practice. So if we search real quick, Chiefs injury report, and you look all week at practice, DeRuse Toney was a full participant Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, had no game designation, but has now been ruled out as of today. The next thing that we need to talk about is Mecole Hardman, who was ruled out, or he got injured rather, and was questionable to return in the game against the Eagles with a sprained thumb. Okay, well, I knew something was going on with Mecole because earlier in the week, Andy Reid said he's getting his thumb looked at, and when asked if he will be ruled out for this game and longer, Andy Reid said maybe. Well, Friday, when Andy Reid spoke, he said he's getting a second opinion on it. So I think something, without being a doctor here, I think something might be broken. There's something definitely going on there with Mecole Hardman's thumb. And I think the biggest bummer for me, guys, and then we'll talk about a couple of other things here. The biggest bummer with the Mecole Hardman thing is this is the move that the Chiefs made prior to the trade deadline. They went and brought back a familiar face in Mecole Hardman that they could quickly plug in and play. He knows for the most part, knew the playbook, familiar with the system, familiarity with Patrick Mahomes. And for the price, it was a cool thing. Like, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's not like Mecole Hardman's not going to move the needle, too crazy one way or another, but solid depth piece. He can return punts, all that stuff. But he is already, after just being here for like a month, now being placed on IR and is going to miss at least 4 weeks. If this guy needs surgery or something on his thumb, who knows? He could miss the rest of the season. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to speculate what's going on there, but it's definitely a bit of a bummer to me that this was the move that the Chiefs made for a wide receiver before the trade deadline, and he has now been placed on IR. Then I just don't know what's going on with DeRuse Toney here, being ruled out after being a full participant all week. Maybe he tweaked something walking upstairs to his house today. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But DeRuse Toney is out. Mecole Hardman was already ruled out. So that's not a surprise that he wasn't going to play. The surprise for Mecole is that he was placed on IR. Even though I did say in my video last night, guys, when he was getting a second opinion, I was fearing some potential bad news there. And lo and behold, there you go. There's the bad news. He's on IR. That could mean that Richie James, who has been on IR and just recently came off, is probably going to suit up and dress out. Andy Reid kind of was like, maybe. I'm not sure what we're going to do with him just yet. But I would assume that wide receiver Richie James is going to play in some capacity. However, they also made a couple more moves. They elevated La'Mical Pirine and wide receiver Montrell Washington from the practice squad. And Montrell Washington being elevated, to me, it could be precautionary for some depth, or he could very well indeed be the returner for punts and kicks in this game against the Raiders. If you guys remember, they grabbed Montrell Washington earlier this season, former Bronco, and he was basically their returner, and he was a solid returner for us. If you guys remember, he'd didn't muff punts. Actually, he muffed one, I think, but he recovered it. He was pretty solid at returner. So with the elevation of Montreal Washington, we very well might see him returning punts and kicks. The Richie James thing is a question mark to me. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him right now. He's obviously, even though he was on IR for most of this season, he's been in the rooms, he's been in the meetings, he's recently been back to practice. His 21-day window got opened. He got activated to the 53-man roster, even though he didn't suit up. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. The wide receiver position, guys, is definitely, the group as a whole is definitely in an interesting spot. You know, you already got guys who are dropping passes, running wrong routes. They lead the league in drop passes. A lot of messed up stuff in the Eagles game, just from a receiving standpoint. Even guys that are supposed to be the dependable guys dropping passes. MVS dropped the touchdown pass. It was more than that. But you're going to have to see these guys step up. No Toney. I mean, you got to see more from Sky. MVS has got to show up. You got Justin Watson, obviously. You have Rashee Rice, who is a dog. He's going to get some looks. But I do want to talk real quick also about Mecole Pirine. In Andy Reid's presser on Friday, it was weird. I think Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest, he said, do you think Deneric Prince is going to get called up? And I thought that was a kind of an interesting question, because Deneric Prince has showed the least promise of the two all preseason. And so I was like, why did they ask specifically about Deneric Prince? I don't really know. It made sense that Mecole Pirine is going to get called up. And the reason why he's getting called up is, most of you already know, but Jerick McKinnon is ruled out for Sunday's game. But we already knew this. This isn't new news. New news. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on, guys. This is, again, an unplanned live stream. I'm going completely off the cuff here to bring you some news. But even though I'm hanging with my family, I looked at my wife and I was like, I got to get down here real quick and make a video. Told her I'd be done around 2:05. So we got about 7 minutes or so to answer a couple of questions. If anybody has anything they want to ask. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. In a nutshell, you have Kadarius Toney now ruled out. Mecole Hardman was already ruled out, placed on IR. Jerick McKinnon, he's out with a groin injury that he's been battling, and because of that, we might see Richie James play. But then, of course, you have Mecole Pirine, who got elevated from the practice squad, and wide receiver Montreal Washington, who, if he does play, he's probably returning punts. He's more than likely the most dependable punt returner they have if they don't have Toney or Mecole. So that is my assumption. Mecole Pirine will probably suit up. I don't know how much he'll play. I'll be curious to see if the Chiefs use Isaiah Pacheco as the third down back at times, or if they're going to use CEH. I wouldn't think it would be Mecole Pirine, but we'll definitely find out. There you go. A flurry of moves made. Again, Toney ruled out now. Mecole Hardman placed on IR. McKinnon was already ruled out, and then they elevated Mecole Pirine and Montreal Washington. Got about 400 people in here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Bro, FLDB dropped the 20 bomb and said happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate that more than you know. We were just at Best Buy, and I bought spoiler alert, I bought a TV, and I'm going to put it here, and we're going to test doing some motion on the TV in the background here. We're possibly going to hang it up on the wall. But it would be cool to have animated graphics, logo, or just different stuff that are moving in the background rather than just a frame, and then you could switch pictures. You don't have to just use the canvas. So that's kind of what was going on. I left Best Buy and saw all this news. So I was like, dang. Biden's left nut? What the frick is going on? What big offseason trade do you think is coming? No idea yet. No idea. We'll have to get through this season first, because we'll see what happens. Is Max out? Max Crosby is doubtful to play. I shared in my video last night that he did not participate all week, didn't practice. Then he was ruled as doubtful to play, although I talked with a guy who covers the Raiders for a living, and he has a suspicion that Crosby is going to play, just isn't sure how much he is really going to play. Sign Shannon Sharp, we'll take that. Cole, will Cornell Powell be active? No. If he was going to be active, they would have done it right now, and they activated Montreal Washington and Mecole Pirine. Score predictions, I have the Chiefs winning 24-14. If Max Crosby doesn't play, they're probably scoring more than that, but they need to prove it to me. I need the offense that hasn't scored in the second half 3 weeks in a row to score, in the second half. They're the worst second half offense in the NFL, averaging 5.3 points per game. Meanwhile, in the first half of games, they averaged 17.2 or something like that points per game. I need first half to translate into the second half. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes both said, we are pretty confident that we can right the ship. We can pick it up in the second half of games. It's really penalties, turnovers, the drops and like lack of execution, because Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are saying teams aren't doing a bunch of stuff, changing up a bunch of stuff on the defensive side of the ball from the first half to the second half. So it's more just penalties, shooting ourselves in the foot. Jawan Taylor is still the most penalized player in the NFL of any player. And then, this is on the other side of the ball, but L'Jarius Sneed's the most penalized corner. I don't have any qualms to pick with L'Jarius Sneed. He's an aggressive player, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's clamping wide receiver ones. But the offense, man, they've got to eliminate the mistakes last week, throwing the turnovers they had Mahomes threw a pick in the red zone. Travis Kelce fumbled in the red zone. You can't have that either. So is Nagy maybe in trouble as offensive coordinator? I don't think so this season. I would be pretty surprised unless the Chiefs just went on a big losing streak or something. I mean, they're 7-3, technically third seed in the AFC, still first in the AFC West, and still, rocking a top 5, top 10 offense in most categories. I don't think Nagy's in the hot seat as of right now. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong for sure. Good to see you, Gary. Opinions on Sky Moore? Definitely developing and progressing slower than we all thought he would. We all thought this would be Sky's big sophomore leap. They were going to be depending on him more, with a year in the system. And, some are saying, well, it's how the Chiefs are using him. They're not utilizing his true skill sets based on how he was used in college. I don't know what exactly is going on there. There's some trust issues between him and Mahomes. He hasn't been effective. I mean, just point blank. Cole, will Travis Kelce go off this game? I hope so, Eloise. We'll definitely see. I mean, the Raiders aren't the best defense in the NFL. They are 13th in points per game allowed, which is good. But almost every other defensive category, they are in the 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, depending on where you look. And if Max Crosby's out, that's a pretty big blow to their D-line as well. I want Max Crosby to play only because I love his competitive fire. He's actually my favorite Raider. You guys know me here. I'm not a Raiders fan at all. I troll him all the time. But he's probably the Raider I respect the most. And I really like to see him and Patrick Mahomes kind of battle it out. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, Rice. Yep, it's Rice's time to shine. MVS has got to show up. Justin Watson. Yep, for sure. Rashee Rice needs more snaps. Hopefully he's getting a little bit more, but the thing is he's already leading the wide receiver room in snaps, so he's not going to be getting, maybe that much more. But we'll see. We'll kind of see. I'm still surprised they're doing the wide receiver by rotation thing. Even the wide receiver coach Connor Embry said in a presser like a week ago or a week and a half ago, whenever that was, they're going to keep the rotation going. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's not working. They're not in the game enough, warmed up enough, and active enough to, I wonder if that's contributing to some of the drops and the miscues. They're sitting on the bench, getting rotated in and out all the time. Why don't you just put the guys that you trust the most out there? And I think some of it is they're slowly ramping Rashee Rice up. Then they're having shakeups in the room. Richie James, IR. They got Mecole Hardman here, started implementing him more. He's on IR. Kadarius Toney, he's been battling injuries and they've been trying to just preserve and protect his body. He's ruled out. I don't know what's going on with that. Sky Moore hasn't taken the leap like they wanted him to. MVS runs around a lot, but has been rather freaking quiet, all things considered. Are there updates on what happened to Kadarius Toney? No. He was just a full participant all week. I could share my screen. Full participant all week. Look at this. Where am I looking? Tony. Ankle/hip, full participant Wednesday, full participant Thursday, full participant Friday, then ruled out. This is the update. This is all we get. Injury report update, wide receiver Kadarius Toney is now ruled out for Sunday's game with an ankle/hip injury. That's literally the update. It's not much of one. It's not much of one at all. Sky Moore must show up big time. I mean, somebody's going to have to, Somebody's definitely going to have to. And here's the thing, Mecole and Toney being out, Both of those guys were playing like 20-ish snaps a game. It's not huge, but dude, I didn't even talk about this. On top of all that, Justin Ross is on the exempt list. So that's another thing that's going on with the wide receiver room. They can't even get people to stay around. They're either doing dumb stuff off the field or getting injured, you know? So it's rather unfortunate, man. KT permanently on the injury report. Yeah, Achilles, he's been on the injury report basically every single week this season. Maybe 1 week he was off of it. Can I pet that dog? What dog? Casey? Sign Shannon Sharp. Dark keeps saying that. He might be one of the better guys we could have signed right now. He's a free agent. There's one player on the Chiefs that you think needs to improve the most? I mean, pick a receiver. Pick one. And then maybe a couple of our tackles. Pick either of those guys to just have less penalties would probably be the biggest things. Yeah, for a receiver, just freaking pick one, dude. One of them needs to step up and say, hey, Patrick, you can depend on me. You know, if you throw me a pass and it hits my hands, I'm going to catch it. That's really just what we need. Yep. You think we'll win the Super Bowl? We'll see. I mean, they have the defense that can win a Super Bowl. As long as the offense takes 1 to 2 steps up, one less turnover a game, converts in the red zone a little bit more, I think they can, but they need to show. They need to show me. You know, that's how we all are. We know that the Chiefs can do it. They have what it takes. Even on offense with the lack of wide receivers, Mahomes has been able to elevate, and he still has elevated those guys this season, but he can't catch it for him, dude. Mahomes can't step back, go like this, throw it, and then run and catch his own pass. He can't do it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. We've got 500 in here, but this is a family day. I try my best not to work on these days, but dude, when I saw Mecole get placed on IR, Toney ruled out, all the practice squad call-ups, I was like, look, I got to do a live stream and at least keep you guys in the know, because this is what I do for a living. This is what you guys have come to know and expect. I cover it all. Breaking news, drama, try to get in depth with stats and analytics on some of the daily updates and all that stuff, man. So I put this responsibility on myself just to keep you guys in the know and connected. And Danny and my girls were, you know, totally okay with me running down here to do this video real quick. So appreciate you guys. Quick hitter piece. But hey, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do a live play-by-play reaction stream to Chiefs versus Raiders. Hopefully they walk away with a big fat W. And I'm going to Best Buy to pick up this TV that I bought because I was coming back home to get another vehicle because it wouldn't fit in our car. It was an unplanned TV purchase. So I'm going to go back to Best Buy and get it and then spend the rest of the day with my families. But if you guys didn't see my video from last night, go check it out. I talk more about the Nick Sirianni Eagles drama with him taunting and yelling at Chiefs fans like a 5-year-old toddler. And then we talk about just some of the takeaways from this week's pressers from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, how they think they can turn the offense around. We talk a little bit about Willie Gay responding to Nick Sirianni. There's a bunch of stuff in that video, so make sure to give it a look. And then before I get out of here, we are giving away, this was not planned to talk about, but we are giving away a signed Rashee Rice helmet through Chiefs Bids on their private Facebook group. So make sure, if you haven't done that, join their private Facebook group. Go to the featured, there's already 800 comments. Go to the featured post. It's a signed Rashee Rice helmet, and he put HBTC on there for the community. And you can get a chance to win that, man. He's balling out. I like that a lot. I can't keep the helmet, but I wish I could keep it. Gravy Squint with the 2 bomb said Veach going to cost us a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, the issue a little bit, guys, I don't want to get into it too in depth because it's like there's a lot to process through with that. I think Chris Jones and the contract extension that the talks that stalled out with him late in the offseason, I think it messed up some plans, dude. I can't guarantee that. I can't confirm it. I'm an outsider like you guys, a fan just outside looking in. But dude, if that extension with Chris Jones gets done and frees up the estimated $8 to $12 million, they can go and get a receiver. You know, you only have so much money to go around. You have Patrick Mahomes with a cap hit of it's like $40 million this year or something. Kelsey's taking up money. which is fine. He's worth it and more, don't get me wrong. But Joe Toney, Chris Jones is taking up like $28 million or whatever it is. Like, they didn't have a lot of money. And a lot of these teams that are stacked freaking superpower teams, Miami Dolphins, 49ers, they got quarterbacks on their rookie deal, so they can afford to do that. But yeah, Veach did a really good job, in my opinion, with the defense. Made a couple of moves on the offense, but you know, you can't win every battle. I am a big fan of Veach, but I'm not an apologist. He does have a weakness of drafting skilled players and even filling them in at times. Rasheed was a hit, in my opinion, but yeah, the wide receiver room is definitely lackluster right now. Brother Rick with the 5, how do you feel about using Blaine Gabbert on QB sneaks? Dude, I'm fine with that. Rick can put him in. Let's go. You want to do a little bit of a very, very small version of what the Saints do with, I think is it Taysom Hill? Obviously, he's a freak. He's a tight end, can run routes, can do options and sneaks and everything. But yeah, dude, they need to do something on these 3rd and shorts. You know, it does work sometimes, especially when they hand the ball off. But I would definitely be down for that. Wait, is Richie James coming back? Yes, he is, Thomas. I don't know if he's going to play. He's on the 53-man roster right now. What's up, Subris? Good to see you. I always like seeing check marks pop up in here. It's always good to see some verified dogs in the game hanging out, talking Chiefs. Appreciate you, man. But anyway, I got to go, guys. Going to hang out with the fam. Again, appreciate y'all. Be back to stream the Raiders game tomorrow. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?